Here's what we got coming up on today's Browns Report. OBJ is coming back to the AFC North, as we all saw the big news yesterday. Plus, a certain Browns player is under fire, more or less, for a tweet he had. We're going to show you that. And then we got the legality update for Deshaun Watson as he's facing a new lawsuit. It's just newer than the other one. So that's what's on tap for today. And let's get started with this. OBJ is off to the Charm City. So he agreed in principle on a 1-year, $18 million deal with $15 million guaranteed. The principle is kind of interesting. He has not signed anything. I don't think the Ravens are going to back out, but he has not actually put pen to paper. Now, does this signal that the Ravens and Lamar are close on a deal, right? That's sort of the next train of thought is, okay, they signed Odell Beckham. That means Lamar Jackson is staying, right? That's why they did this move right here. I don't think so. Okay, here's my opinion on this. The Ravens threw Odell Beckham Jr. more guaranteed money than anyone else did, okay? Why? I don't think it was because they were in a bidding war, right? He was supposed to meet with the Jets yesterday when he signed with the Ravens. I don't think the Jets were at $14 million and the Ravens said, well, we'll give you $15 million guaranteed. No, I think what happened was this was a panic move by the Ravens, throwing him more guaranteed money than probably the last 5 highest paid receivers on the Ravens. Like the last 5 years, the highest paid receiver each year, all their guaranteed combined probably doesn't even come close to $15 million. So this was a panic move to try and sort of keep Lamar happy, right? Show some good faith and just bring that to the negotiating table to say, look, we are getting you a wide receiver. I don't think this signing actually signals that Lamar Jackson is definitively returning, right? And I think if you're Odell Beckham Jr., someone offered you $15 million guaranteed. Listen, even if Lamar is not going to be there, he's not turning down $15 million guaranteed. He is taking that money, and if it's Huntley or Lamar, he'll be happy to have all those G's guaranteed. Now, we did have, Lamar and Odell Beckham Jr. already hitting each other up on FaceTime, so I'm sure they'd like to play together, but I don't think Lamar is really going to move a lot on the scales for, well, now that you got OBJ, let's knock a zero off. And if you're Odell Beckham Jr., I don't think you signed there because you knew 100% that Lamar was the quarterback. I think his agent called him. He's like, you're not going to fucking believe this. $15 million guaranteed. They're like, take it. Who's my quarterback? Doesn't matter. Let's do it. So Odell Beckham Jr., of course, we know has a long history-ish in the AFC North. Now, in 2021, the last time he played with the Rams, 48 grabs, 593 yards, and 7 touchdowns. That's through the postseason as well. So I tweeted this out today. Wow. And it was prediction. Lamar does not return to Baltimore, and OBJ is moved before the trade deadline. If this happens in October of 2023, screenshot this and share it all over the web, okay? www.twitter.com. Post it there because I'm going to be looking for the replies and the receipts and whatnot because if OBJ, if Lamar Jackson does not come to terms with the Ravens and he shockingly gets traded, OBJ is more or less a sitting duck. And if they are going into the trade deadline like 3-7 or whatever the record is at the end of October, early November, don't be shocked if they trade him to try and get some draft assets as they look to really rebuild. Now, be honest with me. Are you slightly worried about playing OBJ twice? Does this qualify as a revenge game? Rolly, do you think this is revenge? Can revenge games apply to non-quarterbacks? I think that's the better question.
This will be not a revenge game.
I don't think it would be a revenge game, I think, if Baker was still on the Browns, because that seems to be the real root of the problem. So I don't think that really, I don't think there's much bad blood between the two anymore. All right, let me know in the comment section. Now, some somewhat related news here. Well, we got some super thanks to catch up on. So Chef Ruben with a super thanks saying, F the Ravens, F OBJ, 18 million pass. So I figured we would share this super thanks while talking about the OBJ stuff. Jeff Rubin, thank you so much, along with Ray Bidding with a super thanks as well. Hey, if you would like to show some appreciation and some support to the channel here, hitting that super thanks button, it's the little heart with the $sign down below, goes a long way to keep the lights on here at the channel. So if you super thanks, you get a shout out on a future show. So if you like the free content here and you want to put something in the tip jar, a super thanks is a great way to do it. Now, as for that Browns player that's under fire, it's the newest member of the Cleveland Browns, right? It is defensive end Obo Okoronkwo, who tweeted out, "I hope the Ravens fumble Lamar." Agreed? Because him and Odell together is OD, right? It's game over. And he was met in the replies to that tweet with some mixed emotions. Like, some were just being a fan, a cheerleader, like, don't worry, you're going to sack Lamar 100 times. And then you had some amazing tweets. I mean, there is no fan base like the Cleveland Browns on Twitter. Swagger's Ghost. I mean, Mount Rushmore of Cleveland Browns Twitter handles right there. Well, that's not encouraging coming from our new defensive end. Swagger's Ghost was not the only one who was a little unsettled by that tweet. We had Full Chubb. Swagger's Ghost and Full Chubb, the most Browns Twitter handle names out there. Bro, you are in the same division now, LOL. You shouldn't act scared like that, at least not in public. Come on, bro. So Obo responded to Full Chubb and Swagger's Ghost with another tweet later on that said, "Y'all take it easy. Just think it's cool that two generational players have the opportunity to play with each other. Sue me." This is not something to get worked up over. I am in agreement with Obo here. He's already thinking about what's best for the Browns, right? He's saying that he hopes Lamar does not go back to the Ravens because that would be a headache. Would it not be? Right? Is he actually saying anything wrong? He's not saying he's scared, right? He's not saying cancel 2023 or just mail it in and already wave the white flag when you play the Ravens. He's just saying what we're all thinking. We hope Lamar and Odell Beckham Jr. do not play together for Baltimore because that would be a more difficult team to beat. Would it not? Okay, moving on now. The Deshaun Watson portion of today's show. So, Mary Kay tweeted out this morning, judge quashes Deshaun Watson's deposition rescheduled for Monday in Houston. So, like many of you, I immediately Googled, what does quash mean? And it basically means to void or nullify. So, the judge voided Deshaun Watson's deposition rescheduled for Monday in Houston. The background on this story. So he was scheduled to be deposed today, April 10th. Now, this is for a different lawsuit, right? It's still under the same umbrella of the sexual misconduct with massage therapists, but this one was filed in October of 2022. Now, Watson's suspension from last season included any new lawsuits that would be similar to the previous one. So once the suspension was handed down, it said, hey, if someone tomorrow, right, sues Deshaun Watson for a similar thing in nature of the previous ones, it falls under that same umbrella. It's not 100% you're out of the woods because the NFL could say, well, we don't think this is similar to the other ones, but it is similar to the other ones, so I'm not concerned about it or losing sleep. Now, here's what Mary Kay said in her write-up. Watson's attorney, Rusty Hardin, filed a motion to quash Monday's deposition based on the grounds that Jane Doe's attorneys, led by Anissah Nguyen of the Universal Law Group, didn't act in good faith in trying to reschedule last week's originally scheduled deposition, postponed because one of the plaintiff's attorneys was ill. The classic, I was sick excuse here. So, Rusty Hardin, Deshaun Watson's lawyer, said this a while ago, back in October when this lawsuit was filed. It's nothing but an extraneous shakedown, and we're not going to put up with it. The days of settling lawsuits that we don't believe in are over. We're going to look at more quotes in just a second. Hopefully I can pronounce all the words on screen. But first, let's check out the Browns 2023 NFL Draft Hats. If you are just tuning in, maybe you're a Browns fan that's not like a fair weather fan, but you tune in, a week, 2 weeks before the big events happen. Well, we've been showing the official Browns Draft Hats for a few weeks now here on the channel. Not too late to get your own. Go to chatsports.com/Browns hat. I put that link in the comments and the description of today's video. Now, going back to what Mary Kay said in her write-up, I thought some things were very interesting. In seeking sanctions against the plaintiff's attorney, Hardin submitted text messages from the plaintiff, screenshots of which are in the filings, showing the plaintiff asking Watson to meet her at the Houstonian. I did not know that was the plural version of Houston, but that's super cool. Hotel, where the alleged incident took place during their lone massage appointment. Some of the requests to see him again took place just days after the alleged assault. Other text messages from her appear to be sexually explicit about things she could do to him or vice versa. Now, you guys know I love to have a take on things. I don't have a big take when it comes to the whole Deshaun Watson thing. One, it's an absolute minefield to try and walk yourself through, and you're going to upset people no matter what. If we're going off the evidence, it's not even really evidence. If we're going off of what Mary Kay said in that last write-up, and if all that is actually true, I think we could all agree it's a bit bizarre after after you're assaulted to reach out to the assaulter and say, hey, can we meet up again? That doesn't really seem to make a lot of sense to me. So I could see why Hardin, Deshaun Watson's lawyer, is saying this is just a shakedown. But when it comes to the Deshaun Watson saga, if you will, if you watched back last summer when we really covered this story day after day with every new twist and turn, shout out Sue L. Robinson, I do my best to try and just give you guys the facts and let you form your own opinions. My opinion on this is Deshaun Watson 100% innocent? Probably not. Is he really good at football, and does that get you out of things in the United States? 100%. So that's sort of my stance on this entire situation. Now, if you enjoyed today's show, subscribe, and all of our new subscribers, go ahead and type me in the comment section below. We love to be interactive here at the channel, so I'm going to pick some of you that type me in the comment section to give a shout out on a future Browns report. So new subs only. I know the OGs. You can't pull a fast one on me. Type me down below and hit that sub button. That is it for today's show. Hit me up on Twitter, by the way, at MatthewPD. Always talking Brownies, talking NFL, all that good stuff. I will sign off and catch up with everyone later.